Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we're tackling something that's super important if you're looking at Chicago commercial real estate,
Oh, yeah, definitely important.
offering memorandums.
That's right.
So these are those like documents that, uh, you know, can really make or break a decision when you're thinking about investing.
Yeah.
And we're pulling our insights today from Michael Linton and the Chicago Deal Flow team.
Okay.
And all their work can be found on chicagodealflow.com.
Awesome.
So imagine this, okay? You're interested in a property. Maybe it's like one of those sleek downtown office buildings,
Right.
or maybe like a cool retail space in a busy suburb.
Yeah.
How do you really get like beyond the initial listing and figure out what you're actually getting into?
Well, that's where the offering memorandum or OM comes in. It's like your secret weapon. It
Right.
gives you that X-ray vision to see the property's financials, its position in the market, even those potential risks you want to watch out for.
Okay, so it's more than just like pretty pictures and fancy marketing stuff.
Oh, way more. Michael really emphasizes that a well-crafted OM, it's a serious tool for serious investors. It gives you that deep dive you need to make those informed choices,
I see.
especially in a dynamic market like Chicago.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's like break it down.
Okay.
What exactly makes an OM so essential, and what should we actually be on the lookout for when we get our hands on one?
Well, you see, Chicago's commercial real estate scene, it's incredibly diverse. You've got those high-rises in the Loop,
Right.
and then industrial spaces way out in the suburbs. And OM, it helps you assess quickly whether a property truly aligns with your investment strategy,
Yeah.
no matter where it is.
I can see that.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in that excitement of a potential deal.
Oh, yeah.
But an LM makes you kind of pause and really analyze the opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. And to do that effectively, you need an OM that covers certain key areas. Think of it like a detective's case file.
Okay.
Each section reveals another clue about a property's true potential.
All right, I'm intrigued. So let's open that case file. What are like the essential components that we need to really be looking at?
All right, well, first up, you've got the executive summary. Think of this as the property's elevator pitch.
Okay.
It's designed for busy investors who just want a quick grasp on the main highlights and those key financial metrics.
So it's like a snapshot to see if it's even worth digging deeper.
Exactly. Then you move on to the property description. This is where you get down to the specifics. Location, size, layout, any recent renovations, those unique features,
Right.
anything that gives you a clear picture of the property itself.
Cost, location, 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 right?
Exactly.
And understanding all those little details can really help you figure out how appealing it'll be to tenants or customers.
Absolutely. Now let's talk numbers.
Okay.
The financial analysis section. This is where it gets real.
Right.
Here you'll find those income statements, cash flow projections, and a key metric Michael really emphasizes: the net operating income, the NOI trend.
NOI trend. That sounds kind of technical. Why is that so important?
Well, it's crucial because it shows you how the property's income has been performing over the last few years. Is it stable? Is it going up? Is it going down?
Okay.
It gives you a much clearer picture of its financial health than just looking at a single year.
So it's like checking the property's financial pulse, looking for those signs of strength.
Exactly. And of course, no financial analysis is complete without talking cap rates.
Right.
Michael points out, understanding cap rates, that's essential because they directly relate the property's income to its value.
I've definitely heard that term thrown around a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, though, I'm still a little fuzzy on what it actually means.
Okay, well, think of it this way. A higher cap rate, that often means higher risk,
Okay.
but it also could mean potentially higher returns. It's like comparing a high-growth stock to a more stable bond.
Right.
You got to understand your own risk tolerance and your investment goals when you're looking at those cap rates.
That makes sense. So we've talked about the financials, but, a property doesn't just exist in a bubble, right?
Right.
We need to understand the world around it.
Exactly. And that's where the market overview section comes in. This is where you get a sense of those local market conditions, the demographics, the economic indicators, the competitive landscape.
Okay.
Michael's a big believer in incorporating that hyperlocal market data into the OMs,
Okay.
showing how even a location that might seem undesirable could actually be profitable if you understand those nuances.
That's fascinating. So you're not just buying a property, you're buying into a whole neighborhood, a community, a whole ecosystem.
Exactly. A good OM, it gives you that feel for how the property fits into the bigger picture,
Right.
highlighting its strengths, addressing any potential challenges.
All right, so we've covered those like nitty-gritty details, but I'm guessing there's got to be a bit of marketing magic mixed in there too, right?
Of course, you have the investment highlights section. That's where the property gets to shine. This is where you'll find those key selling points. The strategic location, a strong tenant base, value add opportunities,
Right.
anything that makes the property stand out.
It's like reading the property's resume, highlighting all its best qualities.
Exactly. But, even the most impressive resume needs a little bit of reality check.
Okay, you've got my attention. What are we talking about here?
The risk factors section. Transparency is key. A good OM is going to honestly outline any potential challenges
Right.
that could affect the property's performance. Could be anything. Market fluctuations, tenant turnover, zoning changes, even environmental concerns.
So you're saying it's about understanding both the good and the bad, the potential rewards and the risks before you commit to anything.
Precisely. Michael believes an OM shouldn't shy away from those potential challenges. It's about providing investors with that clear and balanced perspective so they can make informed decisions.
That makes sense. I mean, any savvy investor needs to be aware of the pitfalls just as much as the profits, right?
Absolutely, and that's why the OM is such a powerful tool.
It helps you approach that investment decision with your eyes wide open, making sure you're not just swept away by the excitement of a new opportunity. This is great stuff. Okay, so we've laid out the basic framework of an OM,
Yeah.
but I'm curious to see how all these pieces come together when you're actually analyzing different types of properties here in Chicago.
Yeah, that's a great point. Let's dive into some hypothetical examples and see how the focus of that OM can shift depending on if it's, a downtown high-rise, a suburban office park, or maybe even an industrial property.
I'm ready. Let's do it. I want to see how these OMs really work in practice.
So let's say we're looking at a hypothetical, like, high-rise office building right in the heart of downtown Chicago.
Oh.
What kind of things would a really effective OM for this type of property highlight?
Well, I'm guessing like proximity to transportation would be a big selling point. I mean, nobody wants to be stuck in traffic for hours just to get to their office downtown.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Michael, he really stresses how important it is to showcase those things, access to public transit, walkability, nearby amenities.
Yeah.
Those are key for attracting and keeping tenants in a downtown setting.
Right, because like having that vibrant city lifestyle is a major draw for a lot of businesses and employees.
No, yeah,
It's not just about the office space, it's about the whole experience around it.
exactly.
Yeah.
The OM might even highlight specific data points,
Oh, okay.
like average commute times for employees in the area or the walk score of the building.
Okay.
It's about painting that picture of convenience and accessibility.
Yeah, data-driven details, I like it.
Yeah.
So how would the financial stuff in the OM, how would that be different for a downtown high-rise compared to, say, like a suburban office park?
That's a great question. So Michael points out that downtown properties, they can often get higher rents,
Okay.
but they also come with those higher operating costs. So
Yeah.
the OM, it would need to really showcase the property's ability to generate strong cash flow, even with those expenses.
So it's not just about the revenue.
Right.
It's about that bottom line. That OM needs to show that this property can actually make money.
Exactly. Now let's switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
Imagine we're looking at a hypothetical suburban office park, maybe out in Schaumburg.
Okay.
What would the OM for that type of property emphasize?
Well, I'm thinking the focus would probably shift from those city perks to things like, ample parking, access to major highways, a more spacious campus-like feel.
Yeah, you're right on track. Michael, he stresses how important it is to tailor the OM to the specific audience.
Okay.
So for a suburban office park, that audience might be like companies looking for a cheaper option than downtown,
Right.
with space to grow and a focus on, employee well-being.
It's interesting how the whole story of the OM can change so much depending on the type of property and where it is.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about industrial properties.
Oh, right.
Those often need a completely different approach in the OM. So let's say we're analyzing, hypothetically, a warehouse or a distribution center out in Elgin.
Okay.
What would be the key things to highlight there?
Well, I'm guessing logistics would be super important.
Yeah.
Access to highways, being close to transportation hubs,
Right.
and the functionality of the space itself. That would be crucial.
Exactly. Michael points out that for industrial properties, the OM, it needs to showcase how efficient and functional the space is.
Okay.
So things like ceiling height, loading dock capacity, truck access, those become the big selling points.
Yeah, that's a whole different set of things to think about compared to our downtown office tower.
Absolutely. The main takeaway here is that the OM, it's got to tell the right story to the right people.
Right.
It's about understanding what potential buyers need and want, and then tailoring the content to that.
This has been really insightful. But before we move on, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier about red flags and OMs.
Yeah.
What are something that investors should be wary of? Like, what are those warning signs?
That's a super important question because just like with any investment, there are always risks you have to think about.
Of course.
So Michael warns against OMs that like really hype up projected rent growth,
Okay.
but don't back it up with real local market data.
So it's about looking past the hype and really digging into the data behind those projections.
Exactly. Another red flag is when an OM doesn't really talk about potential problems or risks.
Yeah.
A good OM is going to address those head on, giving investors that balanced view.
Right. Because transparency builds trust. An OM that tries to hide potential issues, that's a huge red flag for me.
I agree. It's also important to really scrutinize those financial statements.
Okay.
Look for inconsistencies, gaps in the data. If the numbers don't add up, that's a sign you need to do some more digging.
So it's like being a detective, right?
Yeah.
Examining the evidence, making sure the story the OM's telling actually lines up with the facts.
Exactly. And remember, if something just feels off, don't hesitate to ask questions, talk to an experienced professional, trust your gut.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the OM itself,
Right.
but what about the people who put these documents together? What should investors be looking for in a commercial real estate broker,
Okay.
especially when it comes to their expertise with OMs?
That's a great point because a skilled broker can be such a valuable asset throughout the whole investment process.
Yeah.
So Michael, he emphasizes the importance of finding a broker who really understands OMs,
Okay.
not just someone who can make a pretty document.
So you're saying it's about finding someone who can see beyond the surface and really understand what those complex documents are saying.
Exactly. Look for a broker with a proven track record in your target market.
Okay.
Someone who understands the local trends, the competition, the unique challenges of different property types.
So experience matters.
Oh, yeah.
You want someone who's been there, done that, and can guide you through all the ins and outs of the Chicago market.
Absolutely. Communication is key, too. You want a broker who can explain those complicated concepts clearly and break down that jargon into something actionable. Remember, OMs can be pretty dense and technical.
Right.
You need a broker who can help you make sense of it all.
Yeah, it's like having a trusted advisor, someone who not only gives you the information, but helps you understand it and make good decisions.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And don't forget about trust. You want a broker who you feel comfortable working with.
Right.
Someone who's honest, ethical, and looking out for your best interest.
It's a partnership.
Yeah.
You're trusting them with your investment goals, so you need to be confident in their abilities and their integrity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To take your time, do your research, find a broker who aligns with your values and your investment goals.
This has been really helpful in understanding things from the investor side.
Yeah.
But let's flip the script for a second and think about the seller.
Okay.
Why are RMs so important for property owners who want to attract potential buyers?
That's a great question because OMs are just as valuable for sellers as they are for buyers. You see, for property owners, a well-crafted OM, it's like a powerful marketing tool.
Okay.
It can really showcase the property's strengths, attract qualified buyers,
Right.
and ultimately help make the sale go smoothly and successfully.
So it's not just about giving information.
Right.
It's about presenting it in a way that's compelling and gets people interested.
Exactly. A strong OM can create that buzz and excitement around a property,
Okay.
making it stand out from the competition and attracting those serious buyers who are ready to make a move.
So it's about generating interest,
Yeah,
showing the property in its best light.
precisely. And in a competitive market like Chicago, that can make a huge difference.
So what are some key strategies that sellers and their brokers can use to create those really impactful OMs that connect with buyers? Like, what are some of the best practices?
One key strategy is to really zero in on those unique selling points.
Okay.
What makes this property different? What are its strengths and advantages?
So it's about highlighting those things that make buyers go, wow, I got to see this place.
Exactly. Like if it has a prime location, the OM needs to emphasize that.
Right.
If it's got strong tenant occupancy rates, put that front and center.
Okay.
If it's had recent renovations or upgrades, showcase those in detail.
So it's about painting a picture of a property that's well-maintained, desirable, and ready to succeed.
Precisely. And speaking of visuals, high-quality photos, those are essential.
Right.
Like we talked about before, potential buyers often make their initial decisions based on what they see, so those photos in the OM.
Yeah.
They got to be professional, well-lit, showcasing the property's best features.
Because a picture's worth 1,000 words,
Which, yeah.
especially when we're talking real estate.
Absolutely. And then there's the data. A strong OM, it's going to have clear and concise financial data that backs up the property's value.
Okay.
This might include things like income statements, cash flow projections, cap rates, all those relevant metrics.
So it's not just about telling a good story.
Right.
It's about supporting that story with solid numbers.
Exactly. And remember, transparency is key.
Right.
While you obviously want to highlight the good stuff,
Right.
you also need to be upfront about any potential challenges or risks.
Right, because honesty builds trust.
Yeah.
And a buyer who feels informed and confident is more likely to make a serious offer.
Precisely. So by focusing on those unique selling points, showing off the best features,
Okay.
and providing clear and transparent data, sellers and their brokers can create OMs that are both informative and persuasive,
Okay.
attracting those qualified buyers and maximizing the property's selling potential.
This has been a fantastic discussion. We've really explored the importance of OMs from both the buyer's and the seller's side,
Yeah.
uncovering their critical role in navigating this complex world of Chicago commercial real estate.
It is complex.
But before we wrap up this part of the deep dive, I want to go back to something you touched on earlier about the human element of these documents.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about the technical side of OMs, but how can investors and brokers really infuse those documents with personality and storytelling? You know, that's stuff that really connects with potential buyers.
That's a great question because while data and analysis are essential, a truly compelling OM, it goes beyond just the cold hard facts.
Okay.
It tells a story, it evokes emotions, it connects with buyers on a deeper level.
It's about taking that dry document
Right.
and turning it into a captivating narrative
Yeah,
that captures the essence of the property and what it could be.
exactly. One way to do that is to think about your audience.
Oh.
Who are the potential buyers for this property?
Yeah.
What are they looking for? What are their motivations? What are they hoping to achieve?
So it's about tailoring the message to resonate with the specific type of investor you're trying to attract.
Precisely. Like if you're targeting a family-owned business that's looking for new headquarters,
Okay.
the OM might highlight the property's sense of community, its proximity to schools and parks, and its potential for long-term growth and stability.
Right. You're
Yeah.
speaking to their values and priorities,
Yeah.
showing them how this property can help them achieve their vision.
Exactly. And then there's the power of storytelling.
Yeah.
Instead of just listing features and benefits,
Right.
try weaving them into a narrative that captures the imagination and paints a vivid picture.
So instead of just saying this property has ample parking,
Yeah.
you might say something like, imagine your employees arriving each morning, greeted by a spacious and welcoming parking lot, free from the stress of downtown congestion.
That's a great example. You're not just stating a fact, you're creating an experience, an emotion, a sense of possibility.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
It's about bringing the property to life for the reader, helping them connect with it on a personal level.
Mm.
So what other strategies can bring that human touch to an OM?
Details matter. So instead of just listing the square footage of a space, describe its unique architectural features.
Okay.
The natural light that comes through the windows, the views it offers of the surrounding cityscape. These details help potential buyers really picture themselves in that space, experiencing its unique character.
It's about going beyond those dry facts and figures
Yeah.
and creating a sensory experience for the reader.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to add a little bit of personality into the OM.
Okay.
If the property has a cool history or a unique character, share those stories.
Right.
If the current owners have a passion for the property and its potential, let that shine through.
Yeah.
These personal touches can make the OM more engaging and memorable.
It's about showing the soul of the property, the things that make it more than just bricks and mortar.
Precisely. Because at the end of the day, real estate, it's about people, their dreams, their aspirations, and their connections to the spaces they inhabit.
This has been amazing. We've covered so much, from the technical stuff about OMs to the art of storytelling and that human element.
Yeah, it's been great.
I feel like I have a whole new understanding of these documents and their power in the Chicago real estate market.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And remember, if you're looking for guidance in crafting a compelling OM or navigating the complexities of the Chicago market, experienced professionals like Michael Linton can be super valuable resources.
Right.
His website, chicagodealflow.com, it's a goldmine of insights and expertise.
Absolutely. Michael's knowledge and passion for Chicago real estate are clear in everything he does. Be sure to check out his website for more information.
Definitely.
Or join us for the final part of our deep dive, where we'll explore the future of offering memorandums in this tech-driven world. Welcome back to our deep dive on offering memorandums. We've really dug into these important documents, from how they're structured to the power of storytelling. But now let's look ahead. How is technology changing the future of OMs?
Technology is revolutionizing how we create, share, and experience OMs. We're moving away from those static paper documents to more dynamic digital platforms.
Okay.
Imagine like interactive maps, 3D models, virtual tours, even real-time data analysis,
Wow.
all in one immersive experience.
Yeah, that's a far cry from the paper OMs I'm used to seeing. What are the advantages of going digital like this?
Well, those interactive OMs, they allow for a much deeper level of engagement. Investors can explore a property at their own pace, dive into specific data points, even compare different scenarios.
Okay.
It's like having a personalized tour guide, but instead of a person, it's a sophisticated digital platform tailored to what you're interested in.
That's amazing. It's like stepping inside the OM and experiencing the property firsthand.
What?
But how accessible is this technology for, the average investor?
It's becoming more and more common as technology improves and costs go down. We're probably going to see these interactive OMs becoming the standard in commercial real estate.
Okay.
Michael actually talks about this on chicagodealflow.com, how he's started using virtual tours and interactive elements in his OMs
Right.
to give potential buyers a more engaging and informative experience.
That's great. It's awesome to see industry leaders like Michael embracing these new ideas.
Yeah.
But beyond the visuals, how is tech changing the data and analytics in OMs?
That's where it gets really exciting. We're moving towards OMs that aren't just documents, but intelligent platforms.
Oh,
Imagine a platform where you can overlay demographic data, market trends, even competitor analysis, right onto the property information. You can see in real time how a property compares to others in the market and how it fits with your investment strategy.
that's incredible. It's like
Michael?
having a powerful research tool and a personalized advisor all in one. It really gives investors the power to make smarter decisions.
Exactly. And with big data and artificial intelligence growing, we can expect even more advanced tools
Right.
that can analyze huge amounts of information and give investors customized insights and recommendations.
So the OM of the future isn't just a document. It's like a dynamic, data-driven tool that helps investors understand this complex market and make decisions confidently.
Exactly. And this shift also brings more transparency and accessibility.
Okay.
Digital OMs can be easily shared with investors anywhere in the world, breaking down those geographical barriers and opening up new opportunities.
So someone in London could check out a property in Chicago just as easily as someone down the street.
Exactly. And this increased transparency can lead to a more efficient and streamlined process.
Okay.
Investors can get the information they need when they need it, so they can act quickly and confidently when opportunities come up.
It sounds like the future of OMs is bright, driven by technology, and focused on giving investors the knowledge they need to succeed in this dynamic and ever-changing market.
Absolutely. And as the industry keeps innovating, we can expect offering memorandums to play an even bigger role in shaping the future of commercial real estate.
This has been an incredible deep dive into the world of offering memorandums. We've explored their history, how they're structured, their importance in the Chicago market, and their exciting future. We've learned that these documents, while technical, are ultimately about people, their dreams, and their ambitions.
Yeah, for sure.
And for those looking to master the art of the offering memorandum or navigate the dynamic world of Chicago commercial real estate, resources like Michael Linton and his website, chicagodealflow.com, are invaluable.
Definitely.
Remember, a well-crafted OM isn't just a document. It's a story waiting to be told, an opportunity waiting to be discovered, and a connection waiting to be made. That's all for our deep dive. Until